Watches come in all shapes, sizes, materials and price points, and for certain styles or materials, obviously prices increase. For example, gold or platinum are of course more expensive to produce. One material that just doesn't get enough love, however, is bronze, because this is a lovely colour and shade, kind of like a mix of rose gold and pink gold, but still different enough, and it's also not too expensive to use in production. However, if you ask someone what are the best bronze watches that are affordable, you can't really name that many. I mean, you've got the Oris Pointer Date, bronze Longines Legend Diver, the bronze Orient that exists, you've got the bronze Khaki Field as well, which is quite a popular one. But compared to steel and gold, there just isn't much choice. So today I bring you a bronze yet affordable timepiece from Italian brand Venezianico called the Redontor Bronzo. Just quickly before we move on, I want to say I'm doing a partnership with the Watch Out Discord server. This is a server specifically tailored to be free of snobbery and beginner friendly, with an active and passionate community as well as regular giveaways, wrist checks and watch help if you need it. And make sure you get in quick because there is currently a giveaway ongoing. Moving on to history, however, we have not only a lot of brand history, but designs that take inspiration from Italian history, as the founders of this brand are very country proud Italians. As for the brand, Venezianico started in late 2017 when brothers Alberto and Alessandro Morelli, who loved watches and design, were studying at Ca' Foscari University. They began shaping their idea of making watches that show their passion for watchmaking and capture the real feel of Venice, their hometown, as well as Italy as a whole. The brand's logo is not too dissimilar from those of Vacheron Constantin, Patek Philippe, or Louise Monet. And this was because, like the other three, it was taken from a real historical symbol. In this case, a Renaissance cross on the top of an ancient Greek clock tower in St. Mark's Square in Venice. As for the history of this watch in particular, it boils down to the fact that bronze craftsmanship is a big and important of Venetian history, with the Venetian bronze horses, originally forged in ancient Greece in the 13th century, which are atop St. Mark's Basilica, telling a story of conquest and the city's grandeur, being a big part of their culture. Moving on to the watch, however, we have a dial made from a soft brass alloy that is first polished, then satin finished to soften its reflections, and finally bronzed to give it a vintage-inspired, time-worn appearance, where artisans then apply targeted abrasions to reveal the underlying metal. This leads to a nice matte-like dial with a different pattern for every single one that feels very vintage and has quite a cool story of how it was made. Of course, as you can see, it has no indices and it has very basic sword hands. However, this is done very well, and the whole point of this timepiece is to make you focus on that dial. They don't want the indices taking your eye away from it. The whole point of this is simplistic elegance with a pretty dial. Now, as you can see, it has no indices and some very basic sword hands. However, I think this works really well, because the dial is the stunner here, right? The dial is what they want you to focus on. So I think that the lack of busyness on the dial, the classic and elegant and simplistic way they've laid it out, really lets you focus and appreciate the dial itself. Crystal wise, we have a sapphire domed crystal with some good AR coating, nothing more to say there. Strap wise, we have a lovely aged leather strap, which is made in Italy and is of very good quality. It's comfortable and uses a basic pinhole system and clasp, though I actually prefer this basic clasp on leather to any special sorts. It's also aged well, which helps suit the dial too, as that's sort of got an aged vintage appearance. Movement wise, we have the Miyota 9039. This is a workhorse movement and pretty much the best movement you can get in the price range. Now, you can get maybe on very few brands which are ultra good value. We're talking an SW200-1, an ETA 2824, maybe a lower end Le Joux movement, but none of these will be the COSC certified or higher end movements. These will all be the low grade. And the difference between them at low grade and the Miyota 9039 is negligible. Spec wise for the movement, it's a 4Hz piece with a 42-hour power reserve, 10 to 30 second a day accuracy, though from my experience of having about, 5 watches now with the 9039, it's actually more like between 3 and 15 seconds, but most importantly, it's specifically known for being reliable and very thin, at only 3.9mm. Size-wise, the Redontor is 40mm big, with a 46.7mm lug-to-lug and a 10mm thickness, so it wears very nicely on larger wrists, but maybe a little bit too big for the smaller ones. Its specs are 50 meters of water resistance, so safe for rain or washing your hands, but not for swimming or showers. It's got no lume, obviously, and it has grade QAI9-4 bronze, which honestly, I don't know what that means, but apparently it's pretty decent. Packaging wise, this brand really surprised me, because I've heard a lot from this brand, right, with people who are in my line of work, other watch YouTubers, specifically UK based ones, and I've always known the watches are good quality. I've always known the watches are interesting and unique and that they're well made. But no one ever told me about the packaging. I mean, the packaging on this feels luxurious. I've opened Longines and Tudor and, I've seen all of these packaging. This is nicer than those, right? It has a really, really nice box, a lovely pillow. The opening experience is really nice. It's just a box that you would want to keep. The fact that it opens up from the sides like a jewellery box and has all of the papers underneath, all of the text, all of the gold accents, the packaging is just really nice. Which normally at this price range means the watch isn't going to be great because they've spent so much on the packaging. But somehow they've balanced the watch still being good value and also having really good packaging. So however they've done it, I'm impressed and I'm a fan. When it comes to the finishing, the watch is very good, but not absolutely insane standout finishing. It's still really, really good for the price range, and on the bronze it looks beautiful, but it's not going to be, let's say, in contention for the best finished in the price range, like a brand like Zelos would. My opinion on the brand is overwhelmingly positive. First of all of their stuff is made in Italy. Apart from the movements which are outsourced, it's all made in Italy, right? Which is really, really nice to see. I personally love watches from different countries. Don't ask me why. There's just something about it. A different culture making it. A different place of origin where it's been made. I love that. My dream collection in the future isn't loads of Pateks and Vacherons and APs, even though I do like those. I want to have one watch at least from every single country on Earth. Not that every country on Earth produces watches, but we'll see if I can get there in the future. But the point is, it's nice, right? It's actually Italian heritage. It's actually made in Italy. The strap's all Italian leather, which, I mean, I've been to Italy recently. I'll show you a few pictures, and it was gorgeous. Their country is just beautiful. And their leather products specifically, their shoes, their bags, all of that sort of stuff is really nice. So everything to do with the watch, it's just really good. The brand also creates things that are a bit stand out there and different. I mean, the Redontor, is different, right? A larger watch, although I prefer the 36mm version, but a larger watch with a basically empty dial apart from really, really nice dial materials and finishings. No indices, no special funky hands. Like their Aventurine dial, their Ultra Black dial, they're just really nice. They're clean, they're simple. They feel easy to put on and easy to pair with any outfit. They're really nicely made. I think that their other watches, like for example the Arsenal, looks amazing. It looks really good, and I'd love to get hands-on with one of them, on camera at least, because I have been hands-on before. But that's just a basic integrated bracelet watch. Every brand has one of those. Not every brand has a Redontor. Also, for this watch in particular, I have heard it's apparently limited to 300 pieces, which is a slight shame as bronze watches don't get enough love. But it's still good anyways, and I don't know if that's true or not. I've just heard it from a friend. They didn't give me a source or anything, so just mentioning it in case it is true. The strap is high quality and not stock, right? It's made in Italy. They haven't just bought it from somewhere. The case finishing, I might add, is actually hand done, which is extremely rare in this price range, and the dial is made in a in-depth and interesting way with artisans and this and that rather than just a factory, so I really like that too. My only issues with the watch is the lack of a quick release system, and for me personally, For a more dressy type of watch like this, I just prefer smaller. But the Redontor comes actually mainly in 36 anyways, which would be my preference, but they don't have a 36 in bronze to my knowledge. Verdict is, if you want a watch that is really good quality, that has a luxurious opening experience, is a bit different, pairs well with a lot of outfits, this is a great watch for you. I mean, value for money wise, spec wise, finishing wise, design wise, just everything. It's up there with brands like, let's say, Zelos, and definitely above brands like Tissot, for example, in the price range. Though of course it doesn't have the same prestige and all of that, but due to the packaging, box, papers, pillow, everything there, it sort of feels more high-end and premium and even prestigious than opening other watches in the same price range from more prestigious brands. Anyways, I do hope you enjoyed the video. This is a really cool watch and I'm quite impressed with it, but it's more so just the fact that it's different that I love so much. If you did enjoy, do like and subscribe as it's greatly appreciated. And never forget, time keeps ticking, so use the time you have wisely.